I call the Honourable Member Darian Fenton. Tēnā koe, Ms Fenton.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. It is a real pleasure to take a call in this bill and offer Labour's support, strong support, for this Kaikoura Titai or Marokura Marine Management Bill. And as my colleague Ruth Dyson has spelled out, we want to congratulate the Minister and the Government for bringing this bill to the House. I'm excited about the description of this, or the outcome of what will come out of this bill. It's exciting for any New Zealander. I cannot imagine that there will be a single person in this House that does not feel thrilled about the development of this marine sanctuary and this, the reserve, because we all feel very strongly, we all have close connections to the sea. We're a seagoing nation. We're a nation that likes to fish. Many of us come from traditions that have strong connections to the coast. Actually, I'm a Pisces, Mr Speaker, so that gives me special connections to fish in the sea, and I always feel very excited whenever I get close to the sea and smell the sea air. It's all right, I can take it. Okay. But anyway, the bill establishes management measures for coast and sea around Kaikoura, and it includes a marine reserve, a whale sanctuary, a New Zealand fur seal sanctuary, where access will be prohibited, except by permit, 5 customary fisheries areas, an advisory committee, and fishing regulations that are specific to the area. The former Speaker, Nicky Wagner, I think, gave a very good description of what this looks like, and for a North Islander, from someone that comes from the City of Auckland, that was very helpful to be able to envisage what this is going to look like, and I'm sure that others that are closer to the area, like my colleague Marion Street, will be able to describe what it means to the people that she knows and lives and works among in her area. Having one of the things that is very important and was acknowledged by the Minister is marine tourism in Kaikoura. It's a significant economic earner for New Zealand that is increasing annually, and revenue from whale and dolphin tourism has increased from $72 million nationally in 2004 to $80 million in 2008. And international visitors have voted whale and dolphin tourism 45th from 131 activities and attractions surveyed. Kaikoura is the main centre in which these activities take place. So one of the things that we have to be really careful about, Mr Speaker, with creating beautiful marine reserves and adventure activities and wonderful places for tourists to come to, is to make sure we get all of the processes right, all of the rules around this bill, but also all of the rules that apply to the tourism experience that we offer to overseas visitors. And on that note, Mr Speaker, I have to note that I have to tell the House that there is a big botch-up going on at the moment with adventure activity tourism. And that's been in the news a little bit in the last few days. And this came about because the Prime Minister promised the country and tourism operators and the population of New Zealand that he would do something to make sure that adventure activities are safe. He promised there would be new regulations, and the then Minister of Labour, Kate Wilkinson, got stuck into it and brought about some regulations that finally came in at the end of 2011. The next Minister of Labour, after the former one had been sacked, then announced that there were going to be 3 providers to provide the audit that was going to be required to ensure that these adventure activities were safe, as indeed the Prime Minister had assured the country and assured tourists that they would be. So the regulations were developed, and they require a provider to audit the activities. And they have to be done, those audits have to be done by the 1st of November this year. and it will be illegal, will be unlawful for any adventure activity provider to operate without that audit specifying that they are safe under the health and safety regulations that have been created. Now, what the Minister has failed to do, and the Prime Minister has failed to oversee, was to ensure there was actually the resources to provide the audits that are going to have to be carried out. Something like 600, and many, I'm sure, in this area of Kaikoura. Provide the resources and support the companies, the providers who were carrying out these audits. Initially, the Minister announced that there were 3 providers. What he didn't tell us, of course, was that they were all NGOs. So, you know, not in it for making private profit. They were NGOs carrying out their business. 2 dropped off very quickly. And the last one that was left, called Outdoors New Zealand, which is also a not-for-profit charitable trust, it's not a commercial organisation, has said in the last week that it can no longer carry on. They've said that they have done their best to implement the outdoor safety regulations of 2011 to make sure that our outdoor adventure tourism is safe throughout the country. But however, they expected that the Minister and the government would provide some support, that it wasn't going to just be able to be established and audit 600 providers without some support from the government. But that support was not forthcoming. And Outdoors New Zealand has now suspended audits, saying that they have a cash flow problem and they can't continue it. And what that means is there are 600 odd organisations who are in limbo, who do not know if they will be able to operate after the 1st of November 2014. So that means those organisations, including those in Kaikoura, will not be able to take forward bookings until this mess is sorted out. It's also a very bad message, Mr. Speaker, for our international tourism market, because this audit, health and safety audit, came about because of a couple of awful accidents in adventure tourism. And that's why the Prime Minister made the promises that he's been unable to keep. One of the reasons he said we needed to do that was not only for the safety and health of people, but also for our reputation. Tourists want to know, they want exciting adventure activities, but they want to know they're safe and that we have in place the most stringent regulations to ensure that is the case, that every provider has been checked, has been audited, has plans in place and so we can give assurance to people, not just overseas tourists, but also domestic tourists, that these activities are safe. So there's a huge problem right now, Mr. Speaker. And while, you know, it's great to celebrate this bill, I really hope by the time it comes back to the House, the Prime Minister's come home from China and sorted this mess out. Because we, and I mean we as a country, have a terrible problem to deal with right now. That will affect all of the hard work that's been done by Te Kaikoura. It will affect the reputation of organisations in Kaikoura. It will affect every other adventure tourism operator throughout the country. It will affect our brand, which is so important to all of us. And all of the hard work that's going into this could be lost because of the carelessness of the Prime Minister in making promises he could not keep, and the carelessness of his ministers, the Minister of Labour, who has not paid attention to this issue, who has not supported the organisations that have to provide these audits. And right now, there are angry operators up and down in the country, and they are furious with the government about this, because on this rests so much, not just the lives and the health and safety of people, but our reputation as a nation, our international reputation. So all of the work that's gone into this, wonderful work, wonderful collaboration, a fantastic marine reserve, all of the things that preserve so much of our national identity, the things we're proud of, the things that we value as a nation, are currently on the line because the Prime Minister has not done his job, and he's busy over in China doing something else at the moment when he should be here fixing this up really quickly. And the Minister of Labour has not done his job either. And that member might think, that member, Paul Goldsmith, oh sorry, it's Jonathan Coleman, he's silly. Yeah, he might think it's silly. He might think it's silly. So you think, that member thinks 600 adventure tourism providers with their business on their line. Oh, yes. So anyway, to finish, Mr Speaker, look, we're delighted to support this bill. Jonathan Coleman probably needs to study the issue a little bit more before he starts shouting out things about being silly, but we are delighted to support this bill. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call the